Welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers and businesses, founders, CEOs, senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. So the goal is simple: to learn directly from men who have done it so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives, continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high-performing men who have achieved success in their careers but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit along the way. We help busy professional men regain strength. Some may lose weight and feel younger without long workouts, extreme dieting, or disrupting their demanding schedule. So if you're a high-performing man who wants to feel strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Juan Maqueda, who is the CEO of One Full Agency, where he provides advertising and marketing strategies. Juan, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, John, for the invitation.
You're so welcome. I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of your insights and stories or whatever we have, okay?
Okay, man, let's do it.
All right. My first question, Juan, is what's the most important lesson you've learned so far that's helped you become successful in your business?
Well, first of all, I never put the word successful in my career because it's an ongoing journey. It's a constant developing of ideas and situations. Besides of that, I'm really happy what I've made in these 25 years of activity, because I've been working all along Americas. I started in Costa Rica in the 2000s. Then I went to Argentina. Then I arrived here in Miami. So I've been working, John, with big brands in different countries. I work in Costa Rica, Panama, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and then
Wow.
come to Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, Paraguay. So in some point of view, I have a really good feedback or insights from what's going on with the Hispanic or Latin American culture,
Okay. That's awesome. So what year were you in Miami? Did you go?
What I'm doing here, well,
What year did you go?
Sorry. I arrived here in 2014, like 12 years, almost 12 years ago.
Wow. So you traveled quite a bit and stayed at quite a few places.
Yes. Well, that was that's something interesting of my story,
And
Yes.
that's a great perspective that you take on, because you're not, what made you successful. It's not, you don't use the term success usually because it's always going to be ongoing.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So I'm successful doing what I'm doing, but.
Well, humble. I mean, I'm a humble guy. So
Okay.
I always learning. I have a lot of empathy. So I try to understand the
situations,
problematics, and I try to build my own perspective, of course, and try to bring ideas and solutions from there. No, and maybe one of my key point of how I work is trying to look ideas outside of the ritual, outside of the
box.
normal box. Okay, because
Right.
the ideas bring solutions, and sometimes you have to take them from other point of view. Okay, that's maybe my strong
Right.
my strong.
You're looking outside the box. You don't want to be a copycat, okay, type thing.
No.
They call it a cookie cutter program. So your strategies and what you do for your businesses is something that it's probably unique to yourself.
Yes, something unique. Something that I always, or all the last years, I began to say is that I'm not used to wait for a brief.
Okay.
When a brief comes, there are 10 or 20 agencies behind. So in a way, I just started to get bored about competition in a way because
Okay.
some kind of competition is not it's not always about skills. There is a big economic component that maybe take you out of the race. Okay, uh,
Right.
so from that thought that I have, I start to take maybe another type of projects, or I start to build my own projects and look for the brands that likes to follow me. Okay.
Okay. Do you have a certain niche that you work with, or is it just all over? Like
Sorry.
a certain niche, like is it a certain genre, like companies, or is it individuals? Is it a certain kind of company, or is it just you work with mostly companies or individuals?
I work more with companies.
Okay.
I mean, work with a big or a small company, it's the same time, but it's a different budget. So
Right.
I try to work with the big ones, or the brands that value ideas, and they assume the risk to make something different,
Right.
because
Wow.
because the market is huge,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of brands that follow leaders, but
Yep.
they don't take the risk to make something different. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
So you lose time there because
Right.
you make a great concept, you create a great campaign, but those guys, they're going to say, sorry, we are not allowed to do that. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I try to identify that and work with that filter. Okay.
Good. 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 So are you've been doing this all by yourself for the 25 years?
No, I have big team. I have a big team in Buenos Aires. But in a way, that part of the business also changed a lot in the last years. Uh,
Okay.
John, you have the big advertising companies full of people, 100, 200 people, and maybe they lose focus on their business because they have to make money to maintain the whole situation. No.
Right.
Today, the agency is working more with really good heads. Today, you need
Good.
good heads, and for execution, you will have a big team, a big team of collaborators.
Right.
Because there are a lot of good people, and I know really good people everywhere. That if I have a need, I know where to go and where to bring that head to my team. Okay.
Wow.
So today, maybe my way of work is with just a few good heads,
Okay.
maybe with my vision, that we share
Right.
our vision of the market and the creativity, and then after that, of course, we are going to call a lot of people. Maybe last Copa America here in Miami, as a soccer cup. What Copa America? It was held in Miami 2024.
Right.
We have a big activation, and of course, I bring like 50 people to work in the in. It was a month. It was the whole
Wow.
month of June, and we worked very well with the. It was 50 people, but when we launched a car in I don't know 15 years ago, we were like 100 people working on that. So
Oh,
my business is a human intensive, human demanded. So I used to work with a lot of people, John.
okay. Wow. That's awesome. Okay.
Well,
That's awesome. Well, okay. My next question. What do you think hinders a lot of men today from reaching their full potential?
what stopped them?
Yep. What stops them from reaching it?
Um, Maybe. Oh, that's a good question, John.
Yeah. Because there
Because
are some things.
I'm looking to reach my potential, maybe my whole life. Yes,
Yes.
I am looking for that. I'm looking for
If you
that.
keep your theme of not, being successful is an ongoing thing, then so would be this. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Well, you have to have ambition, no? Ambition to grow. Uh, uh,
Passion.
Passion. Yes. Sometimes when you are in your comfort zone, John, a lot of people is in their comfort zone, and they just are they're really well with that. So um, maybe that is, I'm not that kind of. I mean, and you identify that profile when you start to talk with someone. Okay.
Yeah.
I am very proactive guy. I never stops to have ideas in my head. You know, it's a 24/7
Good.
machine. And I'm talking to you, and I'm thinking, well, maybe with John we can do this
Right.
for US market. I don't know. You know, it's a constant.
Right.
So I think it's a mindset. Okay,
Mindset. Yeah.
it's a mindset to be to look for a potential. You have to be prepared for that,
Yes.
because a lot of people get really uh, they get really just satisfied where they are. So
Content.
yes,
Content.
yes. So that is maybe is
Okay.
the worst thing for looking for a potential, no? Just look
Yes,
for a potential.
absolutely. Great,
Yeah.
great insight. Okay. For my next question, Juan, is
Yeah.
for most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. What's been one of the areas of your life that has suffered, if there has been? But where would you like to be successful now, too? And I think it goes through with your theme that you said, I'm never quitting, I never stop trying to evolve. So that might have answered the last question that you've already said.
No, but of course you make a lot of sacrifice during your professional life to be where you want to be. That is part also of this called the rat journey, you know, maybe
Yep.
the rat race. Okay. Um, you know, when I moved to Miami, it was a big change for my family. It was a deep change because, of course, we were living in Argentina with in a very peace and very in a very comfort way, and I changed. I mean, I moved my wife and my three kids here, and that was that was very positive. You know, I think that movement, that change of life, maybe get all much more closer than ever, because we have to support each other maybe in some difficult days. You know, I mean,
Right.
when you are in a new town, it could be a really colorful and delightful day, but sometimes you have to put a lot of your effort to take that and move forward.
Right.
And also there are particularly John in my family that my wife she had a restaurant for the last 30 years. So she started with the restaurant before we get married. That restaurant was in Argentina with 5 branches. That was a really big and interesting business. To move here, we closed that restaurant and we reopened here. And you know that the restaurant business or the culinary business is really have a lot of intense days. So that particular business get all much more closer. The whole family works there. It's very
Wow.
maybe it's an Italian way of take business.
Okay.
And from that part, I can tell you that my sacrifice in these last years was much more on my personal professional life. Maybe I leave my ambition to put it all over my family. Okay, so I take apart some maybe goals that I have,
Right.
just to put it in my family, and that's really was a really interesting and I am very I'm very satisfied of what I did. Okay.
Great.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. Great one. My next thing, and this is maybe get a little deep for us, but that's I love to answer this question.
Deeper.
See,
Let's go
I'd
deeper.
like to hear some people's perspective because it's all different. Where do you
Yeah.
find yourself at peace?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Where do you find yourself at peace?
When I found myself in peace.
Where do you find yourself at peace? Is there somewhere that you go to? Do you meditate? Do you walk? I mean, a lot of people just need to disengage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Decompartmentalize.
John,
You
I'm
know,
going to tell you. Maybe it's part of my tradition, but Sunday afternoon or Sunday night for me is my barbecue day. Okay. So my barbecue day has a lot of steps. Okay. First of all, you have to make the fire. Okay. But it's not of course, it's not a propane barbecue. I have a wood.
I'm very curious about this. You're answering my next question, which is, do you have a routine? And this is going right into it.
Okay, so my barbecue is with the charcoal and wood. Okay, so to make my barbecue, I have to prepare that. I have to build like a cone in where you put the charcoal and the wood, and maybe you have to try 3 or 4 times for that fire. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
or in that process, and it happens always my whole life. Sunday barbecue is my time because there is no one with me, and maybe the fire is part of that
Right.
moment. Okay, when I see the fire burning and growing, that gives me a lot of peace, John.
That's unique, Juan. I got to tell you. So after you get it going, don't you cook on it?
Of course, after that, I prepare the meat, man. I have salt. I have only salt, and I have my tenderloin of my picanha or my ribs, and I prepare with salt. I wait some minutes.
Is
Just
this a
can get it.
family thing then too? Then
Well, maybe it's a very Argentine way I mean, it's a very Argentine tradition,
okay.
But that's part of my, yeah. I'm doing barbecue since 10 years, so, and there is always a Sunday.
And you're not thinking of business or anything else but my
No,
barbecue.
no. Maybe there I start to thinking, I don't know, to have a farm or maybe to travel. Yes.
But it's still not business. It's still
That's
not
my
stress.
escape. Yeah, of course.
And it takes away the stress. You think you have a lot of stress in your life?
Yes, but all the people tell me that I am very controlled. I am very peaceful, and I don't lose control when we are with a very high pressure situation. When you are in campaigns, maybe when you are maybe launching a car, and I have to pair. I launch a Touareg Volkswagen in Buenos Aires, and I have the Philharmonic of the Teatro Colón, and I have a soprano singing, and that have to be matched all with a content in a big screen that was in a theater, man. So, and I have like 400 people watching and expecting to have an impressive show.
Wow.
In that situation, I was calm. You have to be calm because you have to translate that to your team. If you are out of your mind, you're gonna lose it. Okay, you're gonna fail.
Right.
So I think maybe go to a leader point of view. A leader must have that. Okay.
Yes.
If you are in charge of a team, they should look for you to have peace and a control view of the situation. No. So
yeah,
I have that. I think I have that.
I totally agree because you're talking my words because I'm a high school football and lacrosse coach.
Man, you need to have that, of course.
So if I go off the rails and I start yelling at officials and everything else, then they're just going to follow with me.
Of course, I understand perfectly well. Yeah, I agree with you.
And that goes into business also, like you just said, how you just explained. It's if you want to be a leader, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, of course.
My last question then, Juan, would be this: if you were to give the one piece of advice to other men that are starting out on their journey, to achieving success, what would that be?
Take risk, take
Okay.
a lot of risk, because if you don't take that and you in 10 years you look back, you will be like how you say, it's not a shame, the word is
Regret?
regret, man. I mean, of course, in John, in my life, I make a lot of mistakes because I take risks and I take decisions. Okay, but finally, well, I am here. Maybe I could be better, of course, and I could be worse. But I'm very satisfied where I am and what I get, or what I have. My family is incredible. I have a good house that, of course, I am paying it. But I think I made I win a lot of things. I take a lot of I can say I uh, I did a really good. I'm very satisfied where I am, but I couldn't have this if 14 years ago I wouldn't be able to make this movement here. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people in Buenos Aires told me, you are crazy, you are moving out, you have everything here. What are you doing this? No.
Right.
So maybe
Taking the risks. Yeah.
that was a big decision. That was a risk, John. And
Yeah.
I feel that life is a consecutive
Well,
decisions and risks situations.
I think that again, going back, your risks, and I said I put together, I put them with failures.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, if we take the perspective or the mindset of I'm going to do something to get something, okay, I'm going to have risks and failures. It's how I respond to those failures. I can use it as a growth process, or I can use it as a negative process. And I think that's how we got to process that.
of course, John. I mean, failures is part of the life.
Yep.
If you don't fail because you live and work in a capsule, and no one's and maybe you will never feel life. Okay,
Right.
life is part of that. I mean, and I'm not saying I love to fail, but I understand failure as a part of my growing situation, of my growing process. Okay.
Right.
And of course, if I look behind, or I look back, I can. I mean, a lot of people could tell me, oh, okay, if you fail here, you can take another decision here. But well, no one knows. Life
Right.
is a non. It's a continual discovery of situations. That's failure for me. It's part of my life.
Perfect. Well, Juan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Okay. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be on. Your insights were great and they were different. I got to lug it. Your travel is amazing. Okay. Where have you been? Okay. And we thank you so much for providing us with those insights. Okay.
Sure, Sean. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It was really a pleasure
Yeah.
me to
Yes.
to have this conversation with you, and I'm
Good.
very open to a new one. Okay.
Yes, and as a reminder to everyone listening, this show is brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where I help high-performing men rebuild strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing their careers. If you're ready to feel strong in your body as you are successful in your business, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. Until your next episode, please perform strong in all areas of your life.